वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवती नैष्टिकी। Hare Krishna. Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto First, Chapter 13. Dhritarashtra quits home. Shloka number 55 to 57. विज्ञान आत्मनि संयोज्य
विज्ञानात्मनि संयोज्य
क्षेत्रज्ञ प्रविलाप्यतम
क्षेत्रज्ञे प्रविलाप्यतम
ब्रह्मणि आत्मानम् आधारे
ब्रह्मणि आत्मानम् आधारे
घट अंबर इव अंबरे
घट अंबर इव अंबरे
ध्वस्त माया गुण उदर्कः
ध्वस्तमाया गुण उदर्कः
निरुद्ध करण आशयः
निरुद्ध करण आशयः
निवर्तित अखिल आहारः
निवर्तित
आहार
अखिल आहारः
आस्ते स्थाणु इव अचलः
आस्ते स्थानु इव
स्थाणुः इव
आचलः
अचलः तस्य अंतराय मा एव अभूः
तस्य अंतरायः मा एव अभूः
संन्यस्त अखिल कर्मणः
संन्यस्त अखिल कर्मणः
स वा अद्यतनात् राजन्
स वा अद्यतनाद् राजन्
परतः पंचमे अहनि
परतः पंचमे अहनि
कलेवरं हास्यति स्वं तच्च
कलेवरं हास्यति स्वं तच्च
भस्मी भविष्यति।
भस्मी भविष्यति।
विज्ञान आत्मनि संयोज्य
विज्ञान आत्मनि संयोज्य
क्षेत्रज्ञे प्रविलाप्यतम
क्षेत्रज्ञे प्रविलाप्यतम
ब्रह्मणि आत्मानम् आधारे
ब्रह्मणि आत्मानम् आधारे
घट अंबरम इव अंबरे
घट अंबरम इव अंबरे
ध्वस्त माया गुण उदर्कः
स्वस्थमाया गुण अदर्कः
उदर्कः निरुद्ध कारण आशयः
निरुद्ध करण आशयः
निवर्तित अखिल आहारः
निवर्तित अखिल आहारः
आस्ते स्थाणुः इव अचलः
आस्ते स्थाणुः इव आचलः
तस्य अंतराय मा एव अभूः
तस्य अंतरायः मा एव भूः
सन्न्यस्त अखिल कर्मणः
संन्यस्त अखिल कर्मणः
सह वा अद्यतनात् राजन्
स वा अद्यतनाद् राजन्
परतः पंचमे अहनि
परतः पंचमे अहनि
कलेवरं हास्यति स्वं
कलेवरं हास्यति स्वं
तच्च भस्मी भविष्यति।
तत् च भस्मी भविष्यति।
विज्ञानात्मनि संयोज्य क्षेत्रज्ञ प्रविलाप्यतम ब्रह्मणि आत्मानम् आधारे घट अंबरम इव अंबरे दस्त माया गुण उदर्कः निरुद्ध कर्ण आशयः निवर्तित अखिल आहार आस्ते स्थाणु इव अचलः तस्य अंतराय मा एव अभूः संन्यस्त अखिल कर्मणः सह वा अद्यतनात् राजन् परत पंचमे अहनि कलेवरं हस्यति स्वं तच्च भस्मी भविष्यति।
विज्ञान आत्मनि संयोज्य क्षेत्रज्ञे प्रविलाप्यतम ब्रह्मणि आत्मानम् आधारे घट अम्बरम् इव अम्बरे ध्वस्त माया गुण उदर्कः निरुद्ध करण आशयः निवर्तितः अखिल आहार आस्ते स्थाणु इव अचलः तस्य अंतरायः मा एव अभूः संन्यस्त अखिल कर्मणः स वा अद्यतनाद् राजन् परतः पंचमे अहनि कलेवरं हास्यति स्वं तत् च भस्मी भविष्यति।
कृपा में सीता माता जी।
दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण, प्रणाम।
विज्ञान आत्मनि संयोज्य क्षेत्र ज्ञाने प्रविलप्य तम प्रविल्यप्य तम ब्राह्मणि आत्मनाम आदरे गत अंबरम इव अंबरे ध्वस्ता माया गुणो उदरः निरुद्ध कारण असया निवृत्य अखिल आहार अस्ति स्थाणु इव अचलः तस्य अंतराय मायेव अभुः संन्यास्त अखिल कर्मणः सह वा अद्यतनराजन् परता पंचमी आगानि कलीवरं अस्याति स्वयं तत् च पास्मनि भविष्यति। थैंक यू
आशीष
माता
प्रभु जी।
जी।
हरे कृष्णा।
विज्ञान
हम्म।
विज्ञानात्मनि संयज्य क्षेत्रज्ञ प्रविलाप्य तम् ब्राह्मणि आत्मानम् आधारे घटाम्बरम् इव आम्बरे ध्वस्तमाया गुणोदार्को निरुद्ध करणसया निवर्त खिल आहार अस्ते स्थाणुर इव अचल तस्यन्तरायो मयि भावु संन्यस्त अखिला कर्मणः स वा अद्यतनान् राजन् परता पंचमे हानि कलेवरं हस्यति स्वं तच्च भस्मी भविष्यति।
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dhritarashtra will have to amalgamate his pure identity with intelligence and then merge into the Supreme Being with knowledge of his qualitative oneness as a living entity with the Supreme Brahman. Being freed from the blocked sky, he will have to rise to the spiritual sky. He will have to suspend all the actions of the senses, even from the outside, and will have to be impervious to interactions of the senses which are influenced by the modes of material nature. After renouncing all material duties, he must become immovably established beyond all sources of hindrances on the path. O king, he will quit his body most probably on the fifth day from today, and his body will turn to ashes. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The living being, by his desiring to lord it over the material world and declining to cooperate with the Supreme Lord, contacts the sum total of the material world, namely the mahat-tattva, and from the mahat-tattva, his false identity with the material world, intelligence, mind, and senses is developed. This covers his pure spiritual identity. By the yogic process, when his pure identity is realized in self-realization, one has to revert to the original position of amalgamating the five gross elements and the subtle element, mind and intelligence, into mahat-tattva again. Thus, getting freed from the clutches of the mahat-tattva, he has to merge in the existence of the super soul. In other words, he has to realize that qualitatively he is non-different from the super soul, and thus he transcends the material sky by his pure identical intelligence, and thus becomes engaged in the transcendental living service of the Lord. This is the highest perfectional development of spiritual identity, which was attained by Dhritarashtra by the grace of Vidura and the Lord. The Lord's mercy was bestowed upon him by his personal contact with Vidura. And when he was actually practicing the instructions of Vidura, the Lord helped him to attain the highest perfectional stage of pure duty of the Lord. Does not live on any planet of the material sky, nor does he feel any contact with material element. He is so-called material body does not exist, being surcharged with the spiritual current of the Lord's identical interest, and thus he is permanently freed from all contaminations of the sum total of the mahat-tattva. He is always in the spiritual sky, which he attains by being transcendental to the sevenfold material coverings by the effect of his devotional service. The conditioned soul are within the covering, whereas the liberated soul is far beyond the cover. Dhritarashtra had attained by the yogic process the stage of negation of all sorts of material reaction. The effects of the material modes of nature draw the victim to indefatigable desires of enjoying matter. But one can escape such false enjoyment by the yogic process. Every sense is always busy in searching for its food, and thus the conditioned soul is assaulted from all sides and has no chance to become steady in as pursuit. Maharaj Yudhishthir was advised by Narada not to disturb his uncle by attempting to bring him back home. He was now beyond the attraction of anything material. The material modes of nature, the gunas, have their different modes of activities, but above the material modes of nature is a spiritual mode, which is absolute. Nirguna means without reaction. The spiritual mode and its effects are identical. Therefore, the spiritual quality is distinguished from its material counterpart by the word nirguna. After completing the suspension of the material modes of nature, one is admitted to the spiritual sphere, and action detected by the spiritual modes is called devotional service or bhakti. Bhakti is therefore nirguna, attained by direct contact with absolute. Narad Muni's prophecy prohibited Yudhishthir Maharaj from going to the place where his uncle was staying, because even after quitting the body by his own mystic power, Dhritarashtra would not be in need of any funeral ceremony. Narad Muni indicated that his body by itself would burn to ashes. The perfection of the yoga system is attained by such mystic power. The yogi is able to quit his body by his own choice of time and can attain any planet he desires by turning the present body into ashes by self-made fire. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Tapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishwakanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desha Tarine Vancha Kalpatarubhecha Krupa Sindhuve Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. Today we continue Srimad Bhagavatam Canto first chapter 13. Dhritarashtra quits home. Shloka number 55 to 57. Here, how the Dhritarashtra quits his body, that describing here by Narad Muni to Yudhishthir Maharaj. And Dhritarashtra, some instructions given Narad Muni to the Yudhishthir Maharaj. Those points are here describing. Prabhuji will tell us in detail. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhya krupa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavbhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. So I'm just sharing a
Hare
whiteboard
Krishna,
with.
Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Nothing, Prabhuji.
Am I audible,
And
Mataji?
Yes,
ma'am.
audible,
Yes, Prabhuji.
audible.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Prabhuji, just tell me the detail of the mahat-tattva, no? What is that? I
Yeah.
cannot follow
I'm
that.
coming to that. Yes, Mataji. I'm coming to that.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So, we are going to be just using a whiteboard right now. So, is this whiteboard visible to everyone? Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah. Hare
Yes,
Krishna. So, suppose I am here and this is my destination, right? So, for going from this place A, which is place A, to place B, I would be doing traveling. So there would be a road this way, this way, this way, this way. The road would be there, and finally I will reach place B. But what is my original place? My original place is this original place. And this is my place where I have reached current place. Now, if I have to go back from my current place to the original place, how would I go? Would I be trying to find a new way, create a new way here, or would I rather simply travel this way back? What would be the best thing to do? I think simply traveling here back, right? Am I clear to everyone? Hare Krishna. Is everyone understanding this particular aspect? So, if someone is traveling from current place to original place, the best thing is that he travels from the same path that he has come here. Now, this is exactly what is being explained by Narad Muni. So, he is telling Yudhishthir Maharaj what Dhritarashtra is about to do. First of all, he is going to amalgamate his pure identity with intelligence. And then, once his identity is amalgamated with pure intelligence, he will merge into Supreme Being. That is, there will be qualitative oneness. And thus, he will get moved from the material sky, this which is a blocked identity. And from this blocked area, he will rise to the spiritual sky. And for that to happen, his current location, he is trapped by his senses. So he'll have to suspend all the actions of the senses. He'll have to be impervious to the interactions of the senses. He'll have to stop the influence of the modes of material nature. And for that to do, first he will have to renounce all material duties. So he renounces material duties, then stops the interactions of the senses, then suspends all actions of senses, then he becomes freed. So for that freedom, he amalgamates the identity with intelligence, then he merges with Supreme Brahman. So when he has done all these things, he becomes immovably established beyond all sources of hindrances on the path. And thus he would have quit the body. And when he has quit the body, he will no longer require even any funeral activities to be done. So, Narad Muniji prophesies that even his body will turn to ashes. Now, we have seen this reverse journey. But this reverse journey is important to understand because this is exactly how the original journey had happened. Now, we are desirous of controlling the material world and we decide not to cooperate with Krishna. And so that is where we get caught in the material energy. Now, mahat-tattva, as Mataji was inquiring, is actually the material world. So if you all remember how the creation happened, you will remember that Krishna is simply sitting, he's just lying down, and then with his glance, this avyaktaha, that is the mahat-tattva, gets created. So, सर्व योनिषि कौन्तेय संभवान्ति मूर्तयः यः तासां योनिः ब्रह्म महत् aham bija pradah pitah. So this material world is actually the mahat-tattva, and Krishna is the seed-giving father. So how does this happen? When this world is there, when Krishna decides that okay, I have to create. So where from this comes? This comes from the Maya energy of Krishna. So Mahat-tattva is also the Maya, matter. To explain this further, in fact, we'll be studying in the third canto about all these aspects. But then it is important to understand that this all reservation of the three elements is the Mahat-tattva, Pradhana, Upadhana. So what are these three elements? These are the three gunas. So in Mahat-tattva, in the material reservoir, there are three modes of nature. First they appear, they act with one another, and gradually, one after another, the 24 other elements become manifested. Etat kshetram samasena savikaram udaharitam. So the material creation is called as Mahat-tattva, and it is ikshata, which means it is visible, it is seen, or it is created by the glancing over of the material nature, which created the agitation between the three modes of material nature. And so the whole universe has come out. So this is the substance of material creation. See, Krishna is lying on the causal ocean as Mahavishnu, right? Karanarnavaha. And he is breathing. And from his breathing, innumerable universes are coming out. And in each and every universe, his expansion, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters. And from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, the lotus stem comes, and on the lotus flower, Brahma is born. So this Vyakta Avyakta, this Mahat-tattva is very, very important, because the whole material manifestation is created by this Mahat-tattva. So just like tomorrow, if you want to create an idol, a vigraha of say Krishna, so maybe you will do it with soil. So the soil becomes the source. So that soil, it is agitated, given the shape, and the vigraha gets created. Similarly, the total material energy, which is avyakta, is the mahat-tattva. And when Krishna glances on it, the three modes of material nature start acting, and the whole cosmic manifestation comes into being. And then we have the mm, 24 other elements which are created one by one. And whenever there is pralaya, all this gets into bhutva, bhutva, praliyate. And then again, the whole creation will be there, the mahat-tattva. So this is how the whole things keeps on going. This was also mentioned in Brahma Samhita, because this mahat-tattva is there in some corner of the Brahman effulgence only. यस्य एकनिशस्वेत कालम अथवलम्ब्यः जीवन्ति लोम विलजः जगदन्दनाथः विष्णु महान स इह यस्य काल विशेष गोविंदमादि पुरुषम तमहम bhajami. So now because this gets created in this way, it is obvious that if you want to go beyond the mahat-tattva, we'll also have to do the reverse journey. Because this mahat-tattva is something which has covered the spiritual identity. So what yoga does is, by yogic process, we realize the pure identity. And so whatever are the five gross elements and mind, ego, intelligence, we have to merge that back into mahat-tattva. Because see, mahat-tattva, because of the gunas, the elements got created and we are made of the elements. So what we do is a reverse journey. We amalgamate all the elements into the mahat-tattva. And thus we become freed from mahat-tattva, and then we can merge the existence in super soul, that is Paramatma. So actually what it means is we have to understand that we are qualitatively one with Krishna. And the moment this happens, we are able to transcend the material sky because of our pure intelligence and become engaged in transcendental loving service of Krishna. So in case of Dhritarashtra, Krishna gave his mercy, and Vidura, he was giving the instructions, and thus Yudhishthir Maharaj could attain the highest perfectional stage. Now, when we attain such stage, we don't live in any planet of the material sky, nor we are in any contact
Dhritarashtra,
with material elements. The material body itself does not exist, and we are completely freed from the mahat-tattva. We are always in the spiritual sky. Because this material world, if you remember, if you see the purport by Prabhupada, Prabhupada ji has again reminded us that it is covered by the seven coverings. So what are those coverings? It comes in 6th canto, 16th chapter, 37th verse. क्षित्य आदिभि एष किलावृतः सप्तभि गुण एतर अंडकोश. So every universe is covered by seven layers. Earth is the first, then water, then fire, then air, then sky, then total energy, that is the three gunas, and then false ego. And each one is 10 times greater than the previous one. And such innumerable universes are there. So you can just imagine how large this whole world is. And hence Krishna is called as Anantaha. So though we can get by a yogic process the stage of negation, what is important is to remember that not everyone can actually do this. Not everyone can achieve the nirguna stage. Nirguna means not affected by the three gunas. And bhakti is the actual nirguna. Because bhakti is not something which is affected by the three modes of material nature. So we have to start practicing bhakti in Kali Yuga as recommended in Kali Yuga, which is Hare Nam. The moment we start doing Hare Nam, there is cleansing. Then we need not go through all these activities. Krishna ensures that we transcend at the time of our living of this body, immediately back to the spiritual world, because he has promised this. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaran. So here Yudhishthira Maharaj is told what Dhritarashtra is going to suffer, and he tells not to go there, not to disturb him, because he would have achieved such yogic prowess that even his body would be burned to ashes. And this is the perfection of yoga, that one can relieve the body any choice of time, any planet, and the body can also be burnt into ashes. So there is no more need of funeral and other activities. So Yudhishthira Maharaj will now be pacified and will continue the discussions tomorrow. But you have to remember the takeaway that we have to keep practicing Bhakti Yoga, which is the best thing to do.